If you're like me, you've been getting ads for the app Temu nonstop. And I went and visited this website and checked out the app, and there's tons of products on this website. It's stuff that comes greatly from China, I think, but most of the products on there look halfway decent, but the prices are what are confusing to me. They're extremely low, and you wonder whether or not it's worth it or if it's a scam. And so I decided to order some stuff, some tech-related products, so that we can test them and see if they're any good. So I've got some cables, charging cables, headphones, a charging dock, a mini video game system, and we're gonna give all this stuff a try and see if this stuff is any good. So the first thing that I started messing with is this charging cable that has a articulating head on it, and so this rotates around, which is pretty cool, but it doesn't stop there. It also has magnetic tips on it as well. So it comes with 3 different magnetic tips. You get USB-C, you get lightning port for the iOS devices, and then you also have a micro USB as well. And so what's cool about these is that you most likely could just leave this inserted in your device. So I've got my iPhone here. I could just plug this right in and leave that in the bottom of my iPhone if I wanted to. That would be a little weird, but I don't think there's any risk in just leaving that attached there. I mean, it's pretty secure, and unless it really got hit, it's not going to break off or anything like that. So this is all ready to go. Let's plug the other end of this into something with some power. So I've got my EcoFlow battery bank here. I'm just gonna plug this into the USB-A port and grab the other end. Oh, look, it actually lights up on the end of the cable, which is kind of cool. So a little bit of LED illumination there for us, and let's attach it and see what happens. It's not working so far. Let's go ahead and just pull this out. Maybe it needs to be rotated a different way. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the actual adapter itself that goes into the phone just has to be positioned correctly because it doesn't have contact points on both sides. So as you can see here, contact points on one side. So the side with the arrow needs to be pointing up towards the top. And so we just put that in like so. And then when you attach it, boom, it starts charging. And that actually works pretty darn good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that it has an articulation here, if you want to run your cable off the side of a table or a nightstand, you can do that. One of the most annoying things about cables a lot of times is that the cable just goes in the direction it wants to go. But with this, first of all, is very bendable and flexible. But then with the articulation that this provides, as well as being able to rotate this all around because of the magnetic connection, that's actually really stinking cool. Very neat idea here. Magnetic, so easy to switch these out and attach different tips and charge different devices. Not a bad idea. This was extremely cheap. I'll link to all of these items in the description below so that you can check them out. But I have to say, like, that's pretty impressive and pretty useful, considering that was like well under $5. And so let's move on to another cable. This cable was interesting to me because it was just so beefy. And I thought, this is very dense cable. I mean, look at the plug on this thing. It's probably overkill. But I mean, this is very secure, and this supports up to 120 watts, which is another thing that I thought was kind of cool. So much higher throughput as far as electricity goes. Let's plug this cable in, and it has LED on the end as well, because why not? You want to make sure you're getting power there. And this one has articulation also. It's USB-C only, so it doesn't have any different tips that attach to it, but USB-C, lights up blue so that you can see that it works. And I've got this monitor here that we're going to use for the video game system. So we'll just go ahead and plug this in and see if we get power on the monitor. There we go. The monitor's powering up. We know that it works. So this would be your more durable cable. If you're constantly breaking cables or having issues with thinner cables, you're tired of going through cables because they fray and stuff like that, this definitely is a step up. And durability for sure. It's got a little tie on here so that you can wrap the cable up and stow it. I have to say, like, this is pretty legit. Like, this is a cable that I would leave in my toolbox or something like that, where it's going to get banged around. It's going to come in contact with a lot more that could potentially damage it, but that's okay because the cable itself is so much stronger. So the next thing we're going to look at, I thought was interesting. This essentially is a little pen that you use to clean out the ports on your phone. And, you know, the ports on our phones and the speakers and everything get a little gross because you put your phone in the pocket and it just gets all gummed up. And so this has a little pick on the end of it. And this little pick, you can very carefully go in there into the port and kind of scrape out any junk that's in there. And then it has a little brush on it as well that you can use to brush the speaker grills on your phone. That also has another tip on it as well, as I could see here, that we can use just to clean out these ports and these speaker grills and stuff on our phone, just to keep things nice and clean. I know that when I take a case off of my phone, sometimes the speaker ports or grills and the ports all just look pretty gross with stuff from my pocket and whatnot. And so I like to clean those from time to time. And so it's nice to have something dedicated for that. This little thing was extremely cheap. I don't even think it was $2. And now my speaker grills are very clean just after brushing for a couple of seconds here. It's a nice soft brush. And then any lint or gunk or whatever that got into the speaker grill, I can get out. And out of the lightning port, I can get that out of there as well. So this is a neat idea, just something nice to have on your desk or near your desk so that you can keep stuff clean. That's definitely a valuable buy right there. Next, we're going to move on to an active stylus pen. And so this is a USB charging stylus pen. Kind of looks like an Apple Pencil, which is why I went for it. I thought, you know, like if there's some sort of aftermarket Apple Pencil that works like an Apple Pencil, but costs only a couple dollars, like why not? So it comes with a USB-C charging cable, and it also comes with an extra pen tip as well right here, and one is already on the device, USB charging right here. So we just pull out this little thing that keeps the port closed, and we could plug it into one of the many USB-C cables that we have here just to see if we've got a charge. And so you can see it's flashing and starting to charge, which is awesome. I would then want to power this thing on and pair it to something like an iPad. We'll grab my iPad mini here in a second. We'll let it charge for a minute. Now we're moving on to a couple of Apple Watch bands. Now these Apple Watch bands, I've ordered tons of Apple Watch bands off of Amazon. And so I know what to expect from a product when you order it off of Amazon, and the kind of quality that you're going to get and all of that stuff as well. So this very much looks like what I would expect to get off of Amazon. So this particular style would probably cost around $20 off of Amazon. Of course, it cost a fraction of that on the Temu website. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this watch band off, and we'll get this watch band attached. I'm not certain which side is the top. I think these both halves, probably the shorter one goes on top here. So we'll slot in the shorter one and slot that in. These usually fit a little, oh, nope, that fits pretty good. I was going to say sometimes they fit a little snug, so you have to be careful attaching them. That actually is not bad. Now, I've had the Apple leather band as well, Apple's version of this, and I would say that the leather on the Apple band is a bit nicer for sure. This is not the highest quality leather, but when you're only paying a couple dollars for this, I mean, my gosh, you can get any color you want in this and still have a lot of money left over because these are just so cheap. And so that doesn't look half bad. And the magnets are nice and strong too. Yeah, I mean, I have to give it a good tug to really pull that off. And so I have to say, like, I'm impressed. It really helps me understand the kind of markup that the sellers on Amazon are getting for these products. They've got to be paying like pennies on the dollar for these products that they are then turning around and selling on Amazon, which still seem darn cheap compared to the versions that Apple sells. And yes, the Apple's versions of these products are, I'd say, better quality and all of that stuff. But this was only a couple dollars, you guys. That's just crazy. And then this band is a kind of a replica or a knockoff of another Apple Watch band that they came out with for the Apple Watch Ultra, and I have a few of these different bands as well, and so I thought I'd give it a try because I've purchased a few different versions of this watch band from Apple and also some knockoff brands on Amazon as well. This is connecting to the Apple Watch really nice. Like the tolerances and everything here is really nice. Like there's little differences like I can see in the stitching and stuff like that. You can see in the stitching and maybe the quality of the finish here. There's a little bit of glue or something there. There's little things that you can tell like, this obviously did not come from Apple because that would not be in existence on something that came from Apple. But as far as what this costs in comparison, I mean, if you're an active person and you're constantly kind of putting your watch bands through a lot and they're getting dirty and sweaty and stuff like that, I mean, this band right here didn't even cost $5, and I could go and thrash this band and not feel bad about it at all. Whereas a $50 or $100 Apple Watch band, I would think twice about going out and getting that really dirty or potentially inflicting some sort of damage on it, even accidental. And so I have to say, like, I'm pretty impressed at the quality. I would not expect this to last as long as an Apple Watch band. Gosh, in comparison to what you buy off of Amazon, I mean, these are essentially the same exact products that you're getting off of Amazon. So I'm going to be looking at other Apple Watch bands, and maybe we'll do a Temu Apple Watch bands video or something like that. Definitely let me know down in the comments if there are any products that you want me to check out. So let's move on to the headphones. Now, this is how they came. They came in this box pretty beat up. And so those look like AirPods Max. And so I had to give them a try because they looked just like it. Now, they obviously are not. And I mean, just by looking at them, I could tell these are not the same. Oh my gosh, these are horrible. In the picture, it looks like the top is mesh, just like the Apple version. This is not. This is hard plastic. This plastic is like, I wouldn't even store my food in plastic like this. I mean, these are horrible, you guys. The pads are slick, not super comfortable. The buttons are very chintzy, and you could barely make out what they are or what they say. It's micro USB. It also has a jack here for plugging in with a cable. They're supposed to be Bluetooth as well. Let's see if they turn on. Oh my gosh, that is like the jankiest Bluetooth connection sound that I've ever heard. So it says it's in Bluetooth mode. Let's go into settings and see if they show up as something that I could pair to my phone. I just heard it confirm it connected, and so we're gonna go ahead and put these on. I'm not even sure which side goes on because there's nothing that says left or right on here at all. What's interesting is it looks like there's an SD card slot, a micro SD card slot here. So I'm wondering if you could load music onto a micro SD card and then just wear these, which actually would be a really cool feature. Let's put these on. Oh my gosh, they are not comfortable at all. I'm going to put some music on and just see what happens. I don't have high expectations here. It doesn't sound horrible. The highs are not there. It's very flat. Let's just try it for another second here. I just have to see as soon as the song comes in. They're not good, okay? Like, if you're comparing these, which cost like under $10, I think, to actual AirPods Max, like, you just can't compare them. How do they compare to maybe like a $50 set of headphones? Like, these just don't feel good. I would get these to give to my kids as like their very first set of headphones. Like, I'm going to give these to my daughter because these would be an upgrade for her from just some little earbuds. Like, she'd be able to wear them. They're Bluetooth. They'd connect to her iPod or her tablet. They'd be great for her. And I know that they would get beat up and they probably wouldn't last very long. And I'd be okay with that. And the audio quality is good enough for that. Like, if you're going to, wear these and play some Minecraft or something like that, you're probably going to be fine. So it's micro USB as far as charging. And so with our first cable, we could just throw one of these little micro USB, slide that in there, which, boy, that does not fit very well. Okay, there we go. That's in there. And then let's sync our little magnet deal on there and see if there's any sort of indicator on here that we're charging. There it is, the red light down in there. Let's move on to the 3-in-1 wireless charger foldable. This was cool to me because I've been looking at these for a while, kind of deciding if this is something that I would want to charge my devices, have kind of an all-in-one dock to charge my devices. And so this was, I think, one of the more expensive items on here, which still was like maybe $10. I don't even think it was $10. Okay, this has a little kickstand. And so this pops up and you can put it at different angles for charging your phone. Your watch goes right here. And then another device like AirPods or something like that can go here. And I don't know if, okay, so this warning sticker peels off. So we'll go ahead and peel that off. We're just going to go ahead and plug this in. USB-C, and we've got that lighting up here. Let's throw some AirPods Pro on there and we've got the green light. We're charging. Let's go ahead and set my iPhone here. We're charging. Awesome. Let's put the Apple Watch on there. Like if this charges an Apple Watch without having to use your actual Apple Watch cable, like then I'm impressed, you guys. And it's charging the Apple Watch too. So phone, Apple Watch, AirPods, all right here. You can turn the light on and off on it. So when this is on your nightstand or whatever, the light is kind of like a little night light, or you could turn it off. This is actually pretty cool, and it comes with this cable, which is fine. It's a USB-A to USB-C cable. We're using like about 10 watts right now, so nothing is charging really fast. The nice thing that I like about this EcoFlow is that it gives me the output. It says right now that we're using like 8, 9, maybe 10 watts. It's kind of bouncing around through that. And all of the devices do show that they are charging. So it's not fast charging, because 10 watts is definitely not fast charging, especially when you're charging 3 different devices at once. So this is definitely something that you would want to use when you know you're going to be able to put your devices on it for a little while and let them charge maybe overnight or something, because this is not a fast charger, but it is charging 3 devices, and this thing is not even $10. Like, that's pretty impressive. Maybe perhaps one of the things I'm most excited about is this mini game box. It's a little controller. So you got 2 controls. You've got this HDMI puck here, and then you have charging cables for your controls, which is micro USB. So I don't know if any of these are going to have a charge. I'm hoping that they do. It looks like they can take a battery as well, which I need. So I'm going to get some AA's for these. And I'm also going to grab my iPad so that we can test that Apple Pencil. All right, so I've got AAA batteries in the controls. I've got the little HDMI dongle here with a micro USB plugged into it. We're going to go ahead and plug this in to the side of this digital recorder that I have. Oh, it's powered up. And if it doesn't power up, I think connecting the controls to it would immediately do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit record here while we play a game and just see how responsive this is. This is pretty cool. So I can just move with the control. I can move around and select different folders and then hit start and go into that folder. And so it looks like everything is alphabetical. And so I just have to kind of scroll through the list here and get to a game that I would want to play, which there's a lot of games. And so it looks like select takes me back, and then I can hit start again and get into another folder. And so I'm just going to go ahead and find a game to play, and then we'll get started. Yes, we have to do Contra. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and we've got Contra. Oh, you guys, this is so cool. So I'm just going to hit one player, and I'll be showing you the gameplay on the screen because it is recording this screen. And so we should even have sound. I can see that we have sound and stuff like that. This is, oh guys, this is so cool. That we've got, oh, almost got hit there. I haven't played Contra in a while, you guys. It's been a while since I played this game. But this was like one of my favorite games. Oh, I just got hit. Dang it. Pretty awesome. Looks like I can, how do I get out of here? I don't know how I would get. Okay, things seem to have frozen. Everything is frozen right now, so... Oh, I paused it. Okay, so I just paused it. It didn't freeze. I can't hear any of the sound, so I wouldn't even know what happened if I had. So I don't know how we would get out of this game without ending the game. Oh, there we go. You hit select and start at the same time, and then we can get to this screen. So what I've seen on a lot of emulators like this is you can save the state of your game, which you couldn't do back in the day. So if you were done for now, you wanted to save where you were at without losing your place, you can just save and save that to the SD card, micro SD card, and then you'd be able to start back up where you left off, which is awesome. So as you can see, there's just tons and tons and tons of games that we can play here, and lots of stuff. I mean, you could just pack this away in a backpack easily. It's 2 small controls, the little HDMI dongle, and boom, you're ready to go. You just plug it in. You do need to put power to it as well, because the HDMI out of your TV or whatever is not going to provide power. It comes with a little cable. So a lot of TVs have an HDMI and then a USB. And so you can just loop this down to the USB to get power. This is pretty cool, you guys. I'm impressed with this, considering how cheap it is, inexpensive it is. This is definitely something that will give you endless hours of fun, considering the size, how small it is just to pocket this around and take it wherever you want to go. So let's check out the knockoff Apple Pencil and see how that works. And that will do it for all of the stuff that we've been looking at so far. Hold the button on the top down for a second. It's powering up. Let's go into our settings and see if we can get this thing connected. So we'll go into Bluetooth. We'll look for devices down here on the bottom, and hopefully this will pop up. I might need to press and hold it again it looks like that powered it off. If I press and hold it, it probably needs to get into a pairing mode here, and then we can connect it. So I'm just holding it down a little bit longer just to see if that gets it into a pairing mode, because that typically is what will do it. So far, nothing is popping up on the screen for the pencil device here. Then again, I might not be doing it right. Let's see if there are any instructions that come with it. There are instructions, but who knows if they'll be readable or if they'll be in English. Looks like they are. And so it says press the top of the capacitive pin for a long time. Start the machine, and the indicator light will light up and start to use. Press the top of the capacitive pin to turn off. Okay, so it doesn't say anything about that or how to get it into pairing mode. A long press, obviously, to power it on and off. I don't know what you would do necessarily to get it into pairing mode, because it's not connected, certainly. Let's power it off one more time. And let's try pressing and holding again just to see. And usually a long press after it powers up will put most things into Bluetooth pairing mode, but that is not the case so far with this pen. We're just gonna have to try a couple of different things here and see if we can get it connected. There's nothing here telling us how to Bluetooth pair this. We're not getting any Bluetooth pairing mode here, and so I may have to mess with this for a few minutes and just see if we can get it to connect. Maybe I just need to remove this actual Apple Pencil so that we don't cause any confusion with the device. Trying different methods here, and nothing seems to be popping up under other devices. Let's try one more time, powering it off, powering it back on, and just a long hold to see if we can get it into a pairing mode. That would be my guess, but that does not seem to be the case. It is magnetically attachable, so it attaches magnetically just like an Apple Pencil. I mean, if you look at them side by side, they're almost impossible to tell the difference. Apple Pencil versus this pencil. Let's power this thing off again. And I am curious to see, like, is it actually charging or is it just magnetic? Because it doesn't say anything in here, a replaceable tip, built-in battery, but it doesn't say anything about this being wireless charging. And so I don't think that it is. I think it's just magnetically attachable, and then you have to charge it via the USB-C port on the side. So this is kind of a bummer. Like, I don't know how we can get this thing connected. It's definitely not going into any sort of a Bluetooth pairing mode, and the iPad is not recognizing it. So this could be a defective device, or I could just be not doing this right. But I'm not going to spend all day here kind of messing with this. This is such a small amount of money that this thing cost. I can't have high expectations for it. But I have had aftermarket Apple Pencils like this before, and this has the same build quality that pretty much the $30, $40 Apple Pencil alternatives cost. And so as long as we could get this thing to Bluetooth pair, which I'm just struggling to get to have happen right now, which basically makes it useless, if I could get it to pair, it would be absolutely fantastic, and it would be a cheap alternative to an Apple Pencil. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below about this video, checking out all of these very inexpensive tech devices. Is there anything that you've seen on the Temu website that's interesting to you? I've got a link down in the description below to where you can try out Temu. Clicking on that link helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps support the channel. Lets Temu know that we sent people their way. It's an affiliate link. It is not any way, shape, or form a sponsorship or acknowledgement of the quality of their products or anything like that. It's simply just, we're doing this for fun. We're trying these products out and just trying to see if there's anything that we can make happen with products that cost so little. Comments down below. Let's talk about it. We'll see you in the next one.